This is something that I think is quite interesting. Michael Sheen has spoken
Yeah.
about the fact that he could be the 14th Doctor. This is from the Metro, a nice source. Thank you, Louise Griffin. Doctor Who, Michael Sheen rules out 14th Doctor role after it being voted fan favourite. He says, "It ain't me." The Good Omens actor is no stranger to the spot of time travel, passing through the decades in his last film, Last Train to Christmas. But as for whereabouts he played, he'd take the keys to the TARDIS, that's not so sure. He says, "I must say, I'm very flattered. There's been a lot of people, particularly Doctor Who fans, who said they would like to see me as Doctor Who. That's incredibly flattering. I have to say, none of those people work on Doctor Who, so I have not heard from them. I would be very surprised myself if, when the Doctor transforms, it is me, because presumably the person who's doing it already knows, and it ain't me." Interesting, because he is a fan favorite and he gets thrown around a lot, Michael Sheen. He does a
Yeah,
lot of stuff with David Tennant. He works in the similar
he
circles.
does.
And yeah, I can see why people would like him to be the Doctor. What would your thoughts be on Michael Sheen as the Doctor?
I mean, it's interesting because, like, I'll be open to it. I'm kind of, I mean, as I sort of said, I'm open to anyone playing the role. But in terms of him in particular, it's interesting because you know how he's, I don't know if you're aware, but he's already been in Doctor Who. He's in the Smith era. He played House in The Doctor's Wife. You
Did
know,
he?
yes, you know, the entity that takes over the TARDIS. You know,
Yes.
yeah, so like he does the voice of that. You know, he's like, try me. I've killed like hundreds of times.
Yeah,
And the
yeah, yeah.
Doctor goes, I've killed them. Yes, so he plays House. I'd
Oh, yeah.
rather. I mean, it'd be cool to see him as the Doctor, but I'd rather see him as a like villain again. To be honest, just
Yeah.
because of that role and how intimidating he was.
Yeah. My problem with it is that I can't I can see what I can see him as Doctor Who, but
Yeah,
I feel like whenever I fan cast, I cast as a whole. I don't just cast the Doctor. I cast for the show and the brand and everything you
I
have to do that
see
comes with
the
Doctor
whole
Who.
package. Yeah.
Yeah, the merchandising, the publicity, and stuff like that. And I can't
Mm,
see that being something that Michael Sheen would particularly enjoy. I can't see him at
mm,
conventions and stuff like that. And I could be totally wrong, and he might do it, but I've never seen him on the convention scene. And I feel like
very true.
he's quite an outspoken actor. He speaks his opinions a lot on stuff, and I just don't know if that's something that the show would want to be associated. Not that he's got any bad opinions, but
Yeah.
it's that grey area,
No, no,
isn't
no.
it? Of if, with the BBC, especially if you express an opinion, then basically you're in trouble.
You're gonna get cancelled. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
But no,
yeah.
I think he would be a really good Doctor. If they ever did a Doctor Who movie, Michael Sheen would be fantastic.
Yeah,
Um,
that's the thing, isn't it?
but he's an actor, and he's only like I think I've said it before. I've said it on Twitter. He's an actor who I don't think would make a good Doctor Who, but he's a fantastic actor, and he would make a good Doctor Who. I could see him as it, but if I watch it, I couldn't. I just couldn't. I don't think I would
Mm,
be as invested in it, and it's really hard to
yeah.
explain. It's like Rowan Atkinson. I think he would make a great Doctor Who, but I can't. I couldn't
And he
believe.
was Doctor Who, wasn't
Do you know what I mean? Like, if I
he?
watched
Yeah.
it, I couldn't convincingly say, I couldn't ignore the fact that what I was seeing was Michael Sheen or Rowan Atkinson or Richard D. Grant or Hugh Grant or whoever. You know, these big British actors whose names get thrown around a lot.
Yes.
I would only ever see them. I wouldn't
Them
see the
rather than the
Doctor.
Doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah, rather than the Doctor. Yeah, I mean, I get what you mean. Like, I could tell, if he was, and if he did end up as the Doctor, I could definitely see him going quite well with Capaldi's version of the role, a lot more on that like darker side. But then I'll just get hesitant again. You know what you talked about earlier with the whole like thing with the branding and how they changed
Yeah.
Capaldi's brand from series 8 to 9, where he started off all like dark, and then he clearly opened up. It was almost like they completely changed direction. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that's what I'd be hesitant with this. But as you said, he's a great actor. But it's quite hard because obviously he's more. I don't know if he's more well like known than the previous actors. I mean, obviously at the time of their casting,
Yeah.
but I definitely like know him more than if I was to hear about like David Tennant at that time before he got casted. So it'd be interesting if he would like hand a very different performance to what he normally does, or if it would just kind of be like in the vein of his like normal work, like on Omens or whatnot.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I mean, I don't see it. I don't think it is going to be Michael. I can see why, like I said, I can see why people want it to be Michael and why they think he would be great.
Yeah, no,
I feel like saying Michael Sheen is a very safe choice as saying Chris Marshall. I feel there are more interesting interesting options available.
Yeah, and also as well, this happens every time, that there's like rumors about who the Doctor is or what, like who the next cast is. I mean, I don't know if it's actually happened, but I know that when Jodie got casted, she was very she was in the runnings, but it was very.
I only saw Jodie's name once in the runnings.
Yeah, same.
And it was like the day before, and I remember reading it to somebody, and I read there was like 3 people from Broadchurch, and this is the only time Jodie's name had been added to the list. And I said it, and who I was with at the time went, "Oh, they've just put that on there because she's in Broadchurch." It was like they were just like adding, and then we watched the announcement at Wimbledon the next day. It's like, oh bloody hell, it's Jodie Whittaker.
Yeah. That's the thing, innit? Because, like, I mean, I honestly believe that every time we are on this like rumor hype train, that it always turns out to be the person that we like is like hardly.
They were there all along, really, weren't they? Like they were there, but we never saw them. Yeah.
Yeah, like almost like a dark horse of sorts. They're there, but they just. Yeah, and that's the thing. Obviously, like if I hear the name Chris Marshall like one more time, I'm gonna be like, well, no, he's not going to be the Doctor. I'd be very surprised if he was.
We get comments on the channel where people tell us their thoughts on who the next Doctor would be. They're always great, but there's always one like every week where it's like, I would like it to be Chris Marshall, Michael Sheen, or Rupert Grint. Those are the 3 names, and they always come together. And I feel they're just such safe choice. I mean, Rupert Grint, cool, yeah, I'd love that.
Same. I think it'd be sick.
But they're just like, I think they're quite safe.
No, they are. Yeah. I mean, I honestly believe, and as you said earlier about the BBC as a brand, they like to be very much diverse. And I definitely think they've hit that with Joe Martin and Jodie Whittaker. But I just hope the casting isn't purely because of that, and that the actor is actually for the role and whatnot. That's what I'd hope for.